Hey, what up? This is Coach Cal, 2024. We made it. Hey, so I want to tell you what's my secret weapon. What can I tell you about in my life that I learned that works? My secret weapon, okay, for self-development, for self-empowerment. Now mind you, selfless, selfish, self-empowerment. This is something that I want to lay bare before you. I want to be as real and raw as I can. So let me just tell it to you like this. I went to the joint. On this stretch, it was I think it was about 2019. Yeah, it would have been 2019 in the spring, and I was over in Jackson, Medium Max Prison in Wisconsin, DOC, and I had gone to the hole for spitting on someone's bunk, and they went and told on me to the cops. So they looked on the camera and arrested me, and they bring me to the cement room, and there I sat for about a month and a half, reading books, pacing. It's a very, very tiny cement room. And honestly, it's nice to be away from people when you're just surrounded in a barracks of just men. I don't like that. Now, let me tell you, the peace and quiet, it also becomes a form of punishment, because the only peace and quiet you're going to get is from about 4 a.m. to about maybe 11 a.m. if you're lucky, because at a certain point, all the other people in their own little individual cement rooms, they all start waking up and yelling at each other through the door. So while I was in this state, listening to people scream all day for about 18 hours a day, just about the most ignorant shit. The most ignorant shit for 18 hours, screaming. I knew that just because I was in the hole, I wasn't going to stop my program of self-excellence. You know what I mean? 3 meals a day, no extra food, will have your stomach in your back with a sheet tied around your stomach, drinking water. That's the reality, boredom, fuck that. I already been bored for a couple of years. So I'd read for hours on end, and then also I would do my burpees and I'd meditate. And while I was in there for a month and a half, I came through the process of discovery. You start talking to yourself. You start talking to yourself for real. And I'm pacing in this room and I'm going back and forth. And I had a golf pencil, and I just remember writing on the door, a list of names of everyone I knew, all the people that I was going to interact with when I got out. And I started preparing for the day, even mentally. I was preparing physically, but I was preparing mentally. So I'd write down each person's name, and I'd visualize them. And I, as crazy as it sounds, I'd have conversations with them. I'd analyze them. I'd get inside their heads. I would think into the future and think about these scenarios. And a lot of this, it sounds very vague. However, it was a process that began to unfold in the sense that I was able to expand the capacity for tactical thinking, for interpreting other people's actions and looking deeper into their mind. And I began to kind of develop almost like a process, not only of analyzation for other people, but a process for analyzation for myself. What does that mean? Well, while I was pacing and going back and forth, I can recall this clear as day. I'm thinking to myself, let's go back in my mind. Let's start at birth. Let's go as far as I can. And so in meditation, while I'm pacing in this concrete room, I started to go from age 4, moving to Wisconsin, growing up on Walcott, all these memories, the birth of my relatives, everything that I could recall. As much as I could, I just wanted to tear down the walls and just open up the box and just, figure out, go through my mind, because I hadn't had time in my life to unpack it till I got to hell, to this hole. And so with that being said, I go through all of my memories, and I started to analyze and break things down. And I started to not only talk to myself, but, some people call it talking to God. Some people call it, their spirit guides. I started to analyze all the scenarios I had been through forwards and all the way up until the point that I was at, and then into the future. And then I realized, like, wow, what would it be like to live my life backwards? So what would it be like to actually see my own grave, see my own death? And then from death, work my way backwards, living my life, going all the way back to the point where I'm in prison, and then all the way back to the point of birth, maybe even beyond, But this exercise fundamentally is something that's going to train your mind and train your brain. And it's an exercise that not everyone's going to say is, wow, I feel comfortable reliving all my trauma. I'm just making a joke here, but, not everyone's going to want to open up that box, because that box has demons and they're very real. But I'm here to teach you how we can befriend those demons and make them work for us. You see what I'm saying? Because, you know what? I've been able to go inward and analyze my flaws, and I've been gone inward to analyze myself. And I'm able to take fundamentally everything that broke me down and destroyed me and caused me to self-destruct, and use that as what lifts me up, as what brings in those good experiences, good people, good places, and good things. And I'm telling you, I've figured it out. I'm telling you, I've cracked the code. Because when you go inside your mind and you step back and you start reliving your life, forwards, backwards, what you're doing is you're processing this information and you're taking the neural nets, those neural networks, neurons that fire together, wire together. These networks are repetitive thoughts and the memories, and you're processing, you're forming new neural nets. And completely and solely with the power of your mind, you're literally reforming matter just by thoughts. That's how powerful they are. So when I say I figured it out, this meditation, going forwards and backwards and reliving your life, it's something that we get better with at time. And I'm just really excited to share this with you. So, I'm going to keep going on that topic. With that being said, this is Coach Cal 2024. Much love. Peace.